Good evening, Red Star Rebels. It's August 3rd, 2022, and this is Season 2, Podcast number 21. This is a Red Star Special Report. I'm Hal G. Lohr, and this is Voices for the California Nation. For the record, Red Star Report from its inception has never been associated with Alexander Viktorovich Yanov, his Russian government-funded organization, the Anti-Globalization Movement of Russia, Louis Marinelli, or the organization YesCalifornia, its media undertakings, or possible alleged foreign political agendas. And despite any claims to the contrary, Louis Marinelli, the organization YesCalifornia, and its officers and members do not lead, do not speak for, and have no active association with the real California-based grassroots organizations that make up the real California independence movement. A California independence movement whose legitimacy, reputation, and political efforts still suffer greatly from the alleged organized efforts these people and YesCalifornia have very publicly engaged in to subvert the idea and ideals of a free California nation as a tool for the alleged interests of a foreign hostile government. Period. So, in case you're wondering, yeah, this is a Red Star Special Report. This is Voices for the California Nation. And this is a response. A real California independence movement response to the recent DOJ indictment of Alexander Viktorovich Yanov and its Cal-Exit implications. Because once again, our California independence movement gets sucker punched with credible political articles in publications like the Business Insider, Daily Kos, even the BBC, from this past weekend with renewed claims about Russia's alleged, and I'm already tired of saying that word, involvement in YesCalifornia's Cal-Exit efforts. And before you circle the wagons here, don't bother. I've already seen damage control attempts by YesCalifornia and its supporters trying to shoot the media messengers here. For the California independence movement, truth, it's pointless. I've watched as YesCalifornia tries to prove their alleged innocence by serving up a legalese word salad of denials and following with the main course of 2018 Nothing to See Here reports. All aged to perfection from Trump-era departments of justice desperate to deny any Russian involvement in American politics. But again, for us, that's pointless. Because for better or worse, my Red Star Rebels, this is a case of that was then, this is now. And these new articles that started up from this past weekend, despite YesCalifornia's attempts at some political bait and switch, are not actually based on those pre-2018 allegations. They're based on a brand spanking new Department of Justice indictment with an Office of Public Affairs release from last Friday, July 29th, 2022, titled, Russian National Charged with Conspiring to Have U.S. Citizens Act as Illegal Agents of the Russian Government. Obviously part of the federal government's ongoing Trump-Russia probe and or January 6th investigations, right? This time naming a guy you may or may not remember. Like I said, Alexander Viktorovich Yanov, a.k.a. Sasha. The man who nobody can deny helped Louis Marinelli set up YesCalifornia's clusterfuck of a why in God's name would Cal-Exit ever do that embassy in Moscow. Yeah, that guy. The very same Alexander Yanov who organized a number of Russian anti-globalization independence movement conferences that, again, YesCalifornia's fearless leader, Louis Marinelli, very publicly supported, promoted, and attended. And it gets worse. According to the DOJ's indictment, Yanov worked under the supervision of the FSB, a modern Russian incarnation of the old Soviet KGB, to recruit political groups within the United States, including U.S. political group number 3 in California, whose primary goal was to promote California's secession from the United States. Sound familiar? Nah, that could have been anyone, right? I mean, really. An organization led by the association's founder, called in the DOJ's indictment unindicted co-conspirator number 6, or UIC number 6, with Yanov partially funding their efforts. By the way, this is what Alexander Yanov and Louis Marinelli are proudly holding up in this picture. Any questions? So, here we all go again. Russia, Russia, Russia. And what does this mean for the actual California independence movement? Well, for now, the good news here is that this indictment of Mr. Yanov and his U.S. political, totally alleged, as YesCalifornia group number 3 ties are just not interested enough or interesting enough to be picked up by the major media outlets yet. The bad news here is that the Russia damage done to the California independence movement as a whole by YesCalifornia has already marginalized and poisoned CalExit so badly that this press release is not even considered worthy enough to be picked up by the major media outlets. And that's kind of where we stand. A California independence movement politically marginalized back to square one, again and again, because of the incompetence, corruption, and foreign agenda of a single toxic group. And here we go again. The nature of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, right? Because what seems to be getting lost in all this guilty or not shit is none of this sucking up to Russian oligarchs who have nothing to do with California independence in the first place should have ever happened. Going forward, Louis Marinelli and YesCalifornia's legal problems from their stupid mistakes shouldn't matter to the real grassroots California independence movement anyway. But as YesCalifornia poses as leaders of the movement, piling up new angry denials year after year after year, attempting to exonerate themselves from more and more credible allegations of Russian involvement, the political fallout for the real California independence movement only gets worse. As any continuation of this argument in the media just solidifies the link between Russian collusion and CalExit in the public perception every damn time it's brought back. For the California independence movement, this is beyond toxic, and it has to stop. Because nobody can make progress if we're stuck in a never-ending media ambush defending the real grassroots movement's credibility while people try to ignore or even make excuses for the behavior of YesCalifornia. The time for being nice about this shit is over. The California independence movement is not a court of law, and we already know the truth. We as a movement need to drop the passive-aggressive thing and shout that truth out loud. Because after years of putting up with their bullshit, why should we give a rat's ass about YesCalifornians' feelings or internal politics? It's pretty obvious from what we in the movement know that Louis Marinelli, the founder and leader of YesCalifornia, is the alleged unindicted co-conspirator number 6. And so, YesCalifornia, as an organization, is alleged U.S. political group number 3. And these Russian conspiracy allegations are nothing new. In the actual indictment, Section 4, paragraphs 12 and 13 read, quoting, 12. U.S. Political Group 3 was a political group based in California. U.S. Political Group 3's primary goal was the promotion of California's secession from the United States. 13. Unindicted co-conspirator number 6, or UIC 6, whose identity is known to the grand jury as a United States citizen who resided in Russia and California, UIC 6 was the founder and president of political group number 3. Does any member of the California independence movement doubt who this is or what organization this is? No. That discussion is over. So what do we do about it? Well, people, tell the truth. What can be done immediately is that everyone involved in California independence can stand firm and make it clear to anyone who will listen that Yes, California is not part of the California independence movement. That Yes, California's leaders don't represent, don't speak for, and don't act on the will or behalf of the California independence movement. Tell people the California independence movement is justifiably angry about bleeding out our own political credibility from wounds created by Yes, California's alleged involvement in this steaming pile of Russian collusion. It's time to point that finger and just say things like, oh, Russian spies and treason? That's not the California independence movement. You're talking about Yes, California, who got paid by Russia to steal our movement so Vladimir Putin could use it to hurt America. Because simply put, it is years past time Yes, California as an organization admits that this Russia thing is toxic and never going to end well. That however butthurt they feel about it, Yes, California's public exoneration is no one else's idea of a victory as it throws California's future under the bus. I mean, for the sake of a Cal exit movement, Yes, California supposedly loves and insists on taking all credit for, you'd think they would have already shut down the organization and gone away as quietly as possible. Or at least admit publicly that the ideals and values of Cal exit were never the real priority. And it was always about ego, Russia, and personal grievance, even if it meant that we had to face the inevitable failure of California independence. Pathetic. But in closing, I will give Yes, California one parting gift. Call it a door prize. You win. Over the coming weeks, Red Star Report will officially be phasing out the use of both the word and the hashtag CalExit from use in its products, graphics, and media accounts, unless we're commenting directly about Yes, California. And don't worry, Red Star Report will be commenting. Because you're right. That toxic Cal exit stuff, the failed initiative efforts, the lies about Marinelli's involvement in your organization, and all the rest of this Russia investigation baggage is all yours. It doesn't belong to the real California independence movement. So keep it and enjoy. This is Voices for the California Nation. Next up, on Nancy Pelosi's trip to Taiwan, we have an Activism in Action short with Shankar Singham. Go.
Folks, this is California.
Good evening, folks. Activism in Action short here to fill you in a little bit on why China hates Nancy Pelosi, and good reason. We hate her too, right? Let's get right into it right away. So what I'm about to tell you, the information that I got from is from insider information, federal agents, other agencies of the federal government who are, I consider friends, who have informed me and told me in depth exactly what is happening in this country. I'm not going to go into details about that. I'm not going to divulge any more information about that. I'm going to present what I heard from them to you. You judge by what my explanation is and the circumstantial evidence that is evident out there already, and you judge for yourself, all right? So let's get started, all right? Congress, you have to believe it. Every member of Congress, at least 90% of the members in Congress make their money, their millions of dollars money, two ways. One, weapons trafficking. Two, human trafficking. These two industries are what Congress makes billions of dollars in. Billions of dollars, folks. Human trafficking is the number one most lucrative criminal enterprise in the world. Yet, and the number one exporter importer of that is the United States. Yet we don't hear about it. We don't see anything about it. We don't fight about it. There's nothing on no information shows about it. There's no, America's most wanted human trafficker. No. We go after drug traffickers and all these small time guys, but we don't talk about human trafficking in this country. Why, folks? Because it's $1 billion industry moving human beings. Okay. We separate kids from the border. Why? We're the only country to do that. Kids, 1,500 kids, 16,000 of kids go missing from the Border Patrol. No explanation on that. Google all this up, folks. Google all this up. Please just do the research yourself and see that there's no answer on how thousands of kids go missing from ICE detention areas. Thousands and thousands of women get kidnapped every single year, mostly from Native American tribes, from Hispanic, Black, poor white. Thousands of them are kidnapped in the United States, trafficked all over the world, and once they're done with them, they're set back into society, never to talk about it again. This is absolutely true. Do your research on victims of human trafficking and listen to their stories. Listen to their stories. The second way that Congress makes their money, weapons trafficking. Weapons trafficking, folks. The United States is the number one exporter of firearms in the world. If you have to believe that, please Google that up. That is a fact. And if you believe that fact, that we are the number one exporter of firearms in the world, who is authorizing these sales of firearms? It's Congress. They're the only body that can authorize sales of firearms. Every time there's a school shooting, 80% of Americans, Democrat or Republican, want some sort of sensible gun legislation, yet Congress doesn't do shit. They don't do shit, folks. Why? Passing any laws, any real tangent laws, would fuck with the interstate commerce laws on firearms. And they have to get firearms from the manufacturer, state to state, to California, to hop on a boat, to sail, to whatever shithole country, to some tin pot dictator who paid millions to said congressperson so they can get rockets to fight the rebels or whatnot. This is the story of the United States and its foreign policy for years, folks. We supply weapons to everybody. Everybody. If you don't believe that, please open your eyes and take a look. The number one weapons dealer in the world, Nancy Pelosi, that's a fact. Nancy Pelosi is the number one arms distributor, dealer, moneymaker, shot caller, as far as weapons, in the world. That's right. The San Francisco treat. Nancy Pelosi is the number one weapons trafficker in the world. A few years back, when Trump was president, him and Kim Jong-un did not get along very well. Those two, they met the first time, they hated each other. In fact, it wasn't until after a trip to Singapore did they meet in Singapore, and all of a sudden they came out and they were best friends. Two peas in a pod. They loved each other. They might as well have been holding hands and walking down the street looking at the roses. They were best friends after Singapore. What the fuck happened? I'll tell you what happened. Again, insider info. Nancy Pelosi sold short range and long-range missiles to North Korea, which would have been fine and dandy, except for one thing. She didn't tell her buddies in Congress about it. She made this deal on her own and collected the money on her own, which pissed off the rest of Congress, which also made Donald Trump very happy because now he's got the dirt to end Pelosi. So Nancy Pelosi is going down. Congress is out to get her, Democrats and Republicans. The president is going to back that up. Her time is up. And what does this snake of a lady do? This is the deals that she cuts. She had a meeting with Trump and straight up told him this was the deal. I'll facilitate a meeting with you and Kim. You let him keep the missiles and the rockets. In return, he promises to not threaten or fire the United States, so you keep the peace, and you come out looking like the winner of it. He keeps the weapons. You made peace with North Korea, a hostile country. Problem solved. And in return, Nancy said, I will not impeach you, Donald Trump. Donald loved it. There's his get out of jail card, right? Yeah, Nancy Pelosi did impeach Donald Trump twice. Did she? Those were half-ass attempts. There was no intent to impeach him. She was just running through the plays. Those were two joke of impeachment trials. And she knew it. And he knew it. So that was the deal that he cut. Trump and Kim, best friends now. Nancy skated through, right? Now, fast forward to today. Nancy's going to Taiwan. Why do you think China doesn't want Nancy coming anywhere close to Taiwan? In fact, they said they would shoot her plane down because they view it as a national threat for them. They look at it like the United States is supplying weapons to a country that should be their own, and they're helping the rebels. They're helping Taiwan with weaponry to fight against China. So China does not want Nancy Pelosi showing up there. And Nancy, she's still going there because she thinks she can get away with it under the guise that, oh, she's just a senator and not a major weapons trafficker. She may get killed, folks. That's why China does not like Nancy Pelosi. Period. That's all I got. Do the research yourself. Put the pieces together yourself. I wish I had actual proof of like an invoice from Nancy Pelosi, maybe a contract that says, oh, here's a bill of sale, said country, for these artillery rounds and these AR-15s. I wish I could have that proof for you folks. I don't. I wish I could have a bank account, a couple bank accounts for you folks, where she gets paid on in whatever country. I don't. But you put the facts together. Why aren't they making sensible gun legislation? Why is China scared of Nancy Pelosi? How did Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump become best friends? I just told you all those reasons why. That's all I got. This, if anything, is a reason why we need to become a sovereign nation and kick out people like Pelosi and the rest of Congress, because California does not need and never will need to make its money on war. That's all I got. You guys have a great night.
That was Activism in Action with Shankar Sam, and we both hope to see you this Saturday, August 6th, at the 2022 California National Party Convention. You will be there, right? That's it for this Red Star Special Report. For more Red Star Report information, I invite you to check out our website at www.redstarreport.com. Subscribe to our Red Star Report YouTube channel. Go to our Red Star Report Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram, and give us a like and follow, because if you want a real California Independence Movement Media Group, and after all this, I hope you do, it's all about the algorithms. Our thanks to you, our Red Star Rebels, for watching. Go tell people the truth. We are Red Star Report.